I'm going to explain a way that you can be ahead of the game going into the new season and, just as importantly, enjoy the international football that is still on the horizon. You need yourself a Surfshark VPN. So what is a Surfshark VPN? It's a virtual private network that keeps your online data safe by encrypting all of the data between the device and the internet. It's crucial at keeping yourself safe when you're using public Wi-Fi. And with a Surfshark VPN, you can change your real location to any location around the world, over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries. And that's why this is so important. First of all, we've got the international arena of which we are in right now, and there's some big games. And if you are on holiday this summer, you don't want to miss out on any of those big ones. But moving forward into pre-season, you're going to need to be able to change your location to watch what you want when, if you are a Premier League fan, your team is around the globe getting themselves prepared for the new season with the pre-season friendlies. There will be a whole host of games that you will not be able to get your hands on if you are in the UK when it comes to your IP address. So therefore, you need to be able to change your location to watch what you want when you want. Also, just as importantly, if you need a little bit of a break from the sport and the football, you might want to enjoy Netflix. You might have watched everything that's on there, so you might want to change your location and enjoy the libraries of Japan, USA, and Australia, etc. Or if you don't want to miss out on your favourite UK shows when you're abroad on holiday this summer, then you can just change your IP address back to the UK and tuck into the goods of the UK. Also, masking your IP address is essential in becoming private online. A VPN ensures your city, country, and download history isn't linked to your identity. Surfshark's Clean Web feature blocks ads, phishing attempts, tracking, and malware, allowing you to surf the web safely. And the final thing that sets Surfshark apart and provides even more value is that you can use your Surfshark VPN on unlimited devices. So take a look at the description down below, click on the link, and enter the promo code Allcott to get yourself 4 months for free with your boy Jimbo. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk. So why not give Surfshark a go? I'm going to We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to James and Flav for now with this week's guest, Gareth Flavel. Emergency Jaffa meeting. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this emergency podcast.
Won't see a penny. Won't see a penny.
No, but you know. Well, you can be fulfilled with all your VPN needs if you were to get Surfshark. Link is in the description. You can get 4 months for free. How are you back home already? Great question. This is going to be just a bit of fun. Obviously, me and Flav have no idea what we're going to talk about, which is pretty similar to the podcast normally.
I've got a few things.
I'm excited to pass the mic to you. I'm excited to pass the mic to you, Flav. I have had 2 hours sleep. I've watched so many clips on Twitter, and I've nearly cried more and more as time has passed. So I am slightly nervous about this podcast. But England are in the fucking final. Yes. England in the Euros final. So I thought the lads should have a chat. Flav, what would you like to say?
Oh, there's so much I want to say, and I don't know where to start because I haven't really had time to process my thoughts. And I thought that this conversation would be a great way to get it in line for when I do my podcast on it later.
Which is available if you just simply search
The Fighting Cock. Look, if you just... I was... That Watkins goal was symptomatic of England this tournament. Right, if you look, all right, Spain, they're good. They're good. Yamal, he's 6, he's barely a fetus, and look how good he is. Nico Williams on the left, they're great. Oh, they play attacking football, they got all the shots, all that. Yeah, fine. Who's had the moments? Whose supporters have lost their minds more in this tournament? We've had more moments than most teams have in their entire history in one tournament. That Ollie Watkins goal was sublime.
Yeah, sublime.
Sublime.
Minus a line. It was a minus a line.
Half a lime. Sublime. It was sublime. It was so good. And it came from a bumbling mistake from Rice / performance. I'm not going to go into that because it's not the right place.
Just before we started, you went, if I speak. I think you must speak. If I speak.
No, because look, I can't make a comment about any Arsenal player without getting fucking dogs abused now. Right. But fucking 105 million, you are having a lot. I'm joking. No, look, regardless of it wasn't the most polished performance from Rice, but he was influential, and sometimes that's enough. Yeah, that moment when he struck that, but it was the kind of goal that Harry Kane would have scored in 10 years ago. Get the ball, one touch off, and make the keeper work. Not only it made it made it impossible, and the explosion of emotion. Like I've had a fair bit of stick, not a fair bit of stick. I've had about 10 to 15 comments about releasing Euros content around England through the Fighting Cock. They're like, wow, it's fucking England, isn't it? Club over country, all that stuff.
Well, people digging you out for it?
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, people digging me out. I'm not listening to this. We don't have to listen to it. It's free. Like, listen to it or don't listen to it. But I've got a fair bit of abuse. That moment last, because there's no Spurs players in there. There's, you're cheering on players. The other, I don't know the reasons why, but the fact is you think I didn't cheer when Saka hit the back of the net last night. I know it was offside, but it was like, yeah, of course you did. Because in that moment, your nation has won. And there's a beautiful feeling about that. You don't often get that in this country. It's often divided. People politically seem to despise each other. Either you're left or right, or you feel, we can constantly divide about the direction of the country. But when football comes home, when it's here, when there's a national tournament and we're a part of it and we're making strides in it, there's a unity that's rarely felt. And football does that. So I was overwhelmed. I was buzzing, and the idea. I've been banging the drum about us winning this from the beginning, and I didn't always believe it, right? But I said it. I said Southgate will get us. His pragmatism connected. His pragmatism / the quality of player that he has at his disposal will mean England will win this tournament. And there's some criticism of him. I'm going all over the place here, but I'm buzzing. The fact we're in another final,
what
second
we'll
one
do,
bounce in Euros.
We've got a few,
stuff.
we've got a few things. We'll just have a chat as we always do. Some people saying you're a bit quiet, so I'm going to bump you up, just a little bit bumping, some bumping.
Disrespectful, if anything.
Yeah, I can bump myself up a little bit as well. I hate over bumping. That's the
it gets a little bit like.
Get your questions in the chat. What questions do you have? I've seen one. I'll write them down. One was, is it coming home? I thought there was something quite interesting on thoughts on. Let's get to the big issue. The Killers concert. Have you seen that? So you like it? Are you okay with it?
I loved it. I loved it. Look, because I guess was there some criticism of it?
I just feel something like that. Yeah, should they be getting plaudits? Let's be honest, you shouldn't even be there.
Right.
But you buy tickets, don't you? That's the problem.
So you're saying that why are they celebrating? Because, if you're that interested, you'll be at home watching it on the telly. No, I understand that. But if you just put aside the beauty of that moment, put aside that cynicism and just enjoy it for what it is. If you're the Killers, the lead singer of the Killers, Jim, right?
Yeah.
You've got Mr. Brightside lined up.
Yeah.
England are about to go through. They've planned the explosion in terms of the indoor fireworks, the confetti or whatever it was.
Yeah.
If you're in that crowd, your heart is bursting with emotion and adrenaline. They've nailed it. Put England on the screen. We go through. Beautiful. Go straight into Mr. Brightside. That's like iconic. You'll never forget that if you was there.
And I think the thing that's really important is they know they can play, and they did. And I got a message from Flav this morning. I really tried to download it so I could tweet it out because I just wanted to almost post it and go, "What do you think Flav sent me?" Because Flav sent this morning at 7:45.
But I know they can play.
Loved it, man.
They played last night, Jim.
Oh, they?
The first half,
they played well.
Netherlands could not live with us that first half. They could not live with us. And even Ronald Koeman, you might not have seen this in his interview, said we couldn't cope. We couldn't cope with them. We had to change. And in 30 minutes, they changed. There's no greater respect to the opposition manager.
Do you think they changed correctly? I thought it was a weird change. Like
in the second half, they nullified us. The first half, they were too open in my thought. I thought it was only a matter of time before we were going to.
So this will be good as well because there's a lot that you guys can fill in the gaps with. Wow, gaps with. Because I haven't. There's lots of stuff I haven't seen. So a lot of people asking like, how have I got home? Basically, the game finished at midnight. I haven't told you this. You're quite like this. So I was as you guys know, fortunately, wonderfully, Topps Cards sent us out for the Slovakia game, and then I've essentially begged them
I've seen
to let me
the
go.
messages.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's been ugly, and it'll remain private because I think that's important for my own reputation. And I was so pushing, and they're like, you're in, lad. So I was able to go. So basically, where they were staying, they'd sorted out like a little coach or something, and that coach took them to the game at 4:45 from Essen, which is like 30 minutes away. And he said, there's a coach at 4:45 that's going to take us to the ground. And I was like, yeah, I'm going out at 11 for the game that starts at 9. I'm going to be going out at 11 in the morning. So
was you going with the aim of being tanked up, Jim?
I thought it gave me the space I needed to enjoy the day, but also hopefully stretch out the drunkenness in a way that could work for me. Because there were a few times where I was like, I've got to do a video after this. What am I going to do? So I sort of went out and got amongst it. I've never seen so many orange shirts in my life. There was 100,000 Dutch fans there. Got on the train, and I was utterly surrounded.
I mean, it's not like they've gone to South Africa, is it?
No,
it's
I know,
like literally next door. It's about a half-hour train, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's like me going. It's like me going to London.
Yeah, it is. It essentially is.
No, I'm not giving them credit. That's exactly what they should have done.
Yeah, you're right. So they made their way. I'll tell you the whole day now.
Okay, all right.
Because so anyway, get there at 11, and then because another question is how many pints have you had? And I'm just trying to figure out how many it is now. But basically 11. First drink at I would say 12, with a pizza to get myself sorted. With Rory, and I bumped into I met Rory, and Rory's mate, and me and Rory sat down to meet his mate. And we go, right, we're gonna have some lunch, and he's with his mates that he's known for years, and he's got his own tickets through this lad, and these two lads are just so funny. Rory, this is amazing. People won't know this. All of Rory's friends, I'll repeat that, are QPR fans. It's mental. He was surrounded with a guy that he'd met the day before, a guy called Jack, who was a QPR fan, and then two of his old mates who were QPR fans, and me, who was a QPR fan. And we sat down, we ordered a pizza, and this quite sort of angry German woman, she was like, yeah. And the other lads had already ordered their pizza, and then ours arrived before theirs. And you could see the lad getting like more and more pissed off with his pizza not arriving. And then finally his pizza arrived without the ham. He'd asked for ham and mushrooms. He just got given a mushroom pizza. He's like, where's my ham?
Fuming.
And Rory, Rory does like cackle. He finds something quite small funny. He found it hilarious that his mate had not got his pizza. Anyway. Long story short, it was a long day. I met up with Ali Maxwell from Not the Top 20 and the lads, George. Did a drunk podcast with them, which you can go and enjoy, where Ali Maxwell, who is actually incredibly sensible generally, goes after the Dutch. He goes, I don't like them. He just calmly goes, I don't like them. I just think they said they were going to win all day long. I thought they were difficult. I thought they were tedious. I don't like them. And there were three of us, even though we were drunk, we're going...
Don't like them.
Don't hammer them. So no, I don't. I don't like them. I don't like the Dutch. Just like really put them all together.
They're like my second favourite bunch of people. The Dutch. I spent more time in the Netherlands than any other country on earth, bar England.
Do you know what they go? They're quite abrupt. They just cut through with like certain lines.
Yeah, they are abrupt. Yeah,
and they were quite sort of quite overzealous and playful. So you'd have the England fans who like the general feeling of like opposition fans is that you're sort of pointing at each other and singing songs kind of at each other, and like the England fans would be going, there'll be no effing orange in Berlin, and then these Dutch guys are just going, yeah, that's right. That's right. It's just like, what, you're putting me off now. Like, it's quite clever. It's almost like a power move.
So how did you get home then, Jim? What was it?
Sorry.
How did you?
Yeah. So, sorry, I have not slept. So, the game finishes at close to midnight, I would say, or by the time we've got out.
Easy getting away from the ground? How was it?
Well, okay, so I then have a decision to make. I'd said to, I'll call Ali. I go, where are you, mate? Where are you, mate? What are we doing? What are we doing? And he's like, oh, we're 70. I'll send you a pin. And it's like 17 minutes away. I was thinking, what do I do? And then I'm thinking, I've got a flight at 7. So I've got to be up at 5. I've got to be up at 4:45.
Yeah,
So what do I do here?
What did Big Jim do?
I'm sort of on the phone. I'm going, do you know what, mate? I think I probably need to do the sensible thing here and just go back. Like, it doesn't feel like anything's really happening here. So I'm just going to leave it.
Terrible.
Put the phone down. He went, yeah, all right, mate, I get it. Put the phone down. And then we start to walk to this coach. And I just went, I can't do it.
Yes, Jim, come on.
So I turned around.
That's the Jim I love.
Not just I was like, I can't. It was mental. I'd made my mind up.
Flight. I need to get up at 5 o'clock.
So what's the difference between
Exactly, Jim.
Exactly. I've got either 3 hours. I've got 3 hours sleep, or I've got an hour sleep. What's the fucking difference?
What's the fucking difference?
So
England just got to the finals of the Euro.
So I literally just turned around, started walking the other way. 40 minutes later, I met up with the lads and helped them do a little podcast on the phone. And then, we had like one more drink. And it is so funny, like people that are sort of, again, quite sort of sensible lads, when they've had a few, like just no one cares.
It's animals. Animals.
So then got home at about 3 because the trains kept going, which was good. And then got to sleep about 20 past 3 because I started watching all the clips, didn't I? And then I was up at 4:45 on the plane at 7, home by, well, when you do the hours back, home by 8.
Okay, so I'm not sure if this is going to be as exciting as your regaling of that story, Jim, but what a dream.
Do you think we've lost a few? We lost a while too.
No, it's gone up. Numbers have gone up while you were talking, actually. You've had by about 200. Wow. Jim, but
you've died a little.
The West, there's nothing, as an England fan or a football fan, West Germany's a dream. It's an absolute dream.
West
to
Germany?
Get to. Oh,
you don't mean
the West. I mean the west of Germany. I'm not.
Do you mean the west? Did you mean the west of Germany?
The west of Germany, where England played all their games. The western area of Germany.
Showing your age there.
Yeah. The west of Dusseldorf, basically. If you're playing, if you're playing Schalke, you're playing Dortmund, you're playing Dusseldorf, you're playing Leverkusen. It's just for you. You're door to door, 2-hour trip, in and out.
It was quick, man. It's crazy. So,
yeah.
So I'm back, and then I was a bit giddy and excited. And when you're like, I should be more tired than this. I'm thinking that I should be more tired.
It's gonna hit you, Jim. Don't you worry about that, son.
Yeah, I think it's coming.
It's coming.
But then I was like, maybe we should have a little chat about bloody England
battered,
and our boy
absolutely
Gareth.
battered.
Who's getting West Germany? It's tough. That's tough.
I meant the west of Germany. Just a little word of.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. So I had a lot to drink, and I can't really speak now, and I think that's been made quite clear.
James, let me ask you a question about the game. I stayed
on the right line of it. I didn't lose it totally.
No, you're fine.
How did you? How did you react when the goal went in? Where were you?
With the old man. So no matter what happens, James, you could come to me and go, I've got a ticket, 2 tickets in the England end. I'd turn them down. I cannot not watch this with my dad.
The final.
I have to be. Yeah, I have to be with him. Firstly, because he's going to be on his own. But I have to be with him because, mainly for that. But I'd as much as I'd love to obviously be out there with you and or whoever it might be. We get the tickets. I've got to watch it with him because when Watkins scored, I jumped up. I've got this high pitched scream.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't think I could produce, and people hate it, but I cannot help.
I'm bad for that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's what you can't help it.
Just
The
out,
noise
isn't
is
it?
escaping your lungs because you've been emotionally been taken through something you weren't expecting, and so you make an unexpected noise. It was like when I went on that really big slide in Benidorm, and it was so steep that I couldn't breathe, and the noise that just came out of me was right. It was I had no control over it. It weren't my fault. Anyway, so yeah, so I jumped up. Watkins, we fucking done it. We're through to the final. England are in Berlin against them slags. And I have no ill feeling towards Spanish people, but every one of them can get it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Every single one. I turned round, and my dad, his face, right, and his hands, and he's pumping them. He's pumping the fist, and I'm like, fucking, he's loving this, my old man. And I can't. There's no world where he's doing that alone on Sunday. No way. So,
I know, man. That's the thing. I don't know what, like, if again, do you start the begging just to try and be there? But then is it like, so someone said to me, so I know someone who's not, who was at the semi-final was not going to be at the final because they've booked out this place and they've got a screen and they're going to be able to be with their mates and all that. And so they won't be in the ground, even if they could. And that is massively on my mind. I don't really know what the right thing to do is.
What do you book a top flight in the hope that or a travel or do you beg tops? What do you do?
I hope Tops aren't watching this. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you're right. Like, obviously, I would want to be with my dad. So it's about figuring that out, really.
I can't not.
I don't know.
I can't. If we win it, I can't not.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like you could be there. You could be there.
I know, but like how many? Like my dad's 72. Like we might not get into another final in his lifetime. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Anyway,
what will be will be.
What will be will be.
Sorry, go.
I'm just asking you a question here. Should Kane be dropped for Watkins?
Got going, eh?
That's look leggy.
I mean, he's looked bad all tournament. Let's be honest. He has looked bad all tournament. I don't want to go there yet. I don't want to go there yet. Park that.
Fine, Jim.
Park that. Right. What was good yesterday? Kind of like I said, the 100,000 Dutch, right? And obviously, once you get into the stadium, you can't get 100,000 in there. The England fans destroyed them.
What, in the singing?
Yeah. We did the something about
that Phil Foden. Phil Foden chant was just going over and over
for sure. But also,
how good was he as well, by the way?
Yeah, nearly there, and he's just it's just not. There's a great bit of commentary that got me this morning, and I've got leaky eyes at the best of times. Certainly this morning, and it was the commentator went, "Keep going, Phil Foden." And like he'd hit the bar, he hit the bar. He's got like one off the line, which is like this unbelievable bit of skill. Yeah. And then I think it's the second half where he's curled one and it's hit the bar or post, the corner. And the commentator goes, "Keep going, Phil Foden." Yeah. I thought, that is it, man. Like, he is trying so hard.
He's our best footballer. He's our best player, without a shadow of a doubt. I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying he's had their best tournament, but in terms of pure ability, Phil Foden's our best footballer. I genuinely believe that.
I'm really interested to get people's thoughts on have we played well or not? Like, or have we played well enough? Can we let things go? Like, or is it? There's a lot of talk about sort of being a moments team, which is a phrase I've never heard before.
We've had moments, but it doesn't mean it's. I guess what they're saying, but I don't know if it's.
Because we were there.
We were 30
seconds from
identity.
Yeah, but we were 30 seconds from going out. We've been behind in all the knockout games, and I guess you got to sort of take each one in its own. I think that obviously the Slovakia game was a very bad performance overall, and there was huge fortune there. Better against Switzerland, against a better opponent. and Southgate, he did react, but he reacted aggressively and made a clear change, and it affected the game. And then the penalty discussion's an interesting one as well. Where,
wasn't a penalty.
oh no, sorry, I meant the Switzerland one was like this sort of like the talk. This was like Tom. I was with so we met up with Tom Garrett as well, who got out there with his dad, which was wicked. It's a bit to meet his dad as well, and he was sort of, you start talking to different Netherlands fans, and Garrett was like, if it goes to pens, you're not winning. And I was like, who are we? Like, when did England fans go, I think I'll take penalties now because we're not losing them? What is that? That is not in line with...
No, it's not. It's what he's created.
Yeah.
And the stick he's getting is unreal. You did not see him react. He goes... He did an interview, and you could see he's deeply hurt by the commentary around his performance, but also England as a whole and the players. He's really hurt by it. And he said in the post match, he goes, when you read that stuff, we get through to the final, and you read that stuff, and it really hurts. You can't escape it. And you're like, fucking, like, what is it about us?
He said we all want to be loved, didn't he?
Yeah, we all want to be loved. What more? So look, all right, look, you might not like the style of play, but you cannot deny what he has done in recent years, both tournament football, but also changing the philosophy of the environment, and produced a group of players that are together, that are working together and are liked. Before that, and you might say, Southgate's got all of these players. Before Southgate came into this job, England were fractious. There were groups, by Gary Neville's own admission, player groups that just sat apart from each other. The golden generation was flat. We never achieved. We never did anywhere near what Southgate has been able to do.
No semi-finals, wasn't it? There was absolutely no semi-finals. And I think that's a great point, because what you have to remember as well, especially, let's say, from 2005 to 2010, English clubs were dominant. And we had English players in those teams winning Champions Leagues. So this sort of, you're right in terms of that similar idea of, why can't he? There's that Mike Bassett clip. Like, why can't he make the jinking runs that he makes for his club? Like, that is 20 years on. It's the same thing, but it was the same thing back then. And you're right. Like, for him to humanize that group, because it's not a tactic, it isn't given the credence it deserves, and also, that group have stepped up. You don't also when it's not going well, that gets forgotten as well. To win when it's not really clicking for you, that takes character,
winning when you
grit and stoicism and character again. You're like, and the freedom to show your character, to go, I'm going to take this moment. Ollie Watkins. I'm going to take this moment, Bukayo Saka. I'm going to take this moment, Ivan Toney, when he's not looking at the fucking ball. Jude Bellingham. Like, taking the moments is something that we were incapable of doing, aside from Beckham in 2002.
We aren't able to win football matches in high-pressured environments. We just couldn't do it. Whatever happened, no matter how good these English players were, we couldn't do it. And Southgate has been able to... There isn't... the one thing is, we should be playing better with these players. The reason why Southgate's been successful is because of the players at his disposal. The golden generation arguably were better individuals than the one we've got now. The whole back line would be completely different. Beckham gets into the team. Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, Shearer, they all get into this team. So why didn't we achieve back then? And the reason, well, look, it's debatable, but
the reason, fair debate.
The reason why we didn't is because we didn't have a manager in place who wasn't able to create the right environment for these players to work together. And Gareth Southgate has done that. Now, all the criticism he gets is that because of the way we've played, and it has been dull and boring at times, that we should be doing this and we should be playing better. But the fact is, we are in the final. And playing through that group stage where the teams didn't want to win, it's so difficult. You've seen in the Premier, it's like people who haven't watched Premier League football. It's so difficult even for the best teams to break down stubborn defences because at international level, all these defenders are elite in their relative leagues. So they know how to play and they know how to defend. And it is difficult to break them down. But what really wound me up when I was listening to TalkSport on the drive in here was the amount of people. The talk was should you apologise to Southgate? Is he owed an apology? And there is apologies too much, but people were staunchly no, I'm not, because Southgate is a fraud. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing with his players. We should be better. So no, I won't be apologising. How about just go, be quiet. Don't call up the station. Just be quiet. Admit and acknowledge that he's achieved something and just go about your day. You feel so strongly about this. You call up the station and go, no. It's like, fucking, we are through to the final and you're still trying to die on this hill.
Yeah. It's
so boring.
It's so,
He'll get a fucking knighthood. He'll get a knighthood.
That's your. I've got so much more respect for Rory from these couple of trips in terms of like him as a football fan, because he is wholeheartedly a football fan, and people go, "Oh, hang on, you said the opposite like several times," but he just. It's about. I said that. I told them the story. We might have chatted about it as well, where it's like the Slovakia game was. I was like, that was horrible. And Rory was like. That's the best game of football I've ever been to in my life. They kept saying that, didn't they? And I was like... Yeah.
But he was also, before the goal, going, fuck, he's got to go.
Yeah. Right, he was, right? And which is fair enough, right? But the point is, from Rory's point of view, is for Rory, I think for other different football fans, things are different. But for Rory, it's about winning. Yeah. So because we're winning... And again, you can look at this however way you want to, but at least he's consistent with it. He's like, he should be knighted. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, but for the people that are unwilling to go, do you know what? He's got us through here, and sport is about winning and losing. Of course, it's about so much more, and that's why we're able to talk about it so often for so long. But sometimes there's nothing wrong with going, do you know what, I've got that wrong, and I don't think we'll beat Spain. I like, my head cannot allow me to think it, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to give it absolutely everything in terms of my my good vibes that I can put forward to it. So you're right. There has to be a much better understanding, and I think sadly Southgate might not live to see it from a manager's point of view, because I still stand by the idea that I think this is enough. I think this is the last one for him. But in terms of the learnings of the tournament, of the two finals that he's got to, in the group stage of both, it was, I think we all went over the top. We've all gone we've all gone well over the top in terms of the criticism. And then we've all forgotten about it after one or two knockout wins. So next time...
I'll give you an example about why that is the case.
Go on. Yeah, go for it.
What was wrong? Was there anything wrong with that first half performance? Most of that performance yesterday. Not really. Actually, we were quite creative. Actually, with the ball, we progressed pretty well. Actually, we created opportunities. Well, lo and behold, it was against a team that actually wanted to come and play. Yeah. Netherlands weren't there to control the game by stinking it out. They were there to play, to be attractive, and play on the front foot, and it creates space. And our amazing generational pool of talent, is able to exploit that space. If Southgate wins the Euros, if he does, he will be remembered in history as the greatest manager England has ever had. And I tell you why, because if you know your history, Alf Ramsey, around the win in '66, was under huge criticism, and there was huge issues around his tenureship, and he managed to win that tournament. And Southgate's had none of that. He has been consistent in his performance and the outcomes that he's achieved throughout his tenureship. And one more thing on Southgate, and I don't even really give a shit, right? I don't even feel this passionately about him. I just feel like some of the energy that's going his way was unwarranted and has been unwarranted and unfair.
Absolutely.
Before he was the England manager, he was involved in creating the England DNA along with Dan Ashworth and a couple of other people. Before he was even manager, his role and his job and his motive was to get as much out of English players as possible in order to create a bunch that could win the World Cup in 2024. He was working on that in the back rooms with no credit, no exposure, no press intrusion. He was just working hard to create an environment in England to produce great English footballers. And lo and behold, 10 years later, look at our squad. It's not directly down to him, but he was involved in that process. And you can Google, if you don't know what the England DNA is, it's a thing. It was a project that the FA set out that was headed up by Southgate and Dan Ashworth. Go and Google it. It's all there. It's fascinating. And it's about changing, how do we develop players that will be able to compete on a world level? And lo and behold, we did it. And we are doing it. And he has a massive part to play in that. So just give him a break. If he wins, just give him all of his flowers because he deserves it.
Do you know what, though, I think is interesting is I think there's no way around giving him some flowers of some kind today. But I also, within that, I think there's certain people setting themselves up for this final. And because the truth is he's not, it's Southgate's reputation in terms of really just sticking his middle finger up and going, shh, less, enough now. Like, that only comes if he wins on Sunday. And he will go into that as the underdogs for, I think, for most people based on the performances in the tournament so far. So from that point, you would feel like it is fair, but this tax on the fact that we've got these obviously these incredible players would mean that, well, hang on a minute, we've got this player. The knives will come back out if he doesn't win, if we lose the final.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in listening to them. I don't care. Obviously, they are. I mean, look in the comments. People are giving him no credit. It's fine. Like, you understand it. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. Like, there's a guy, Hefferman, he says people are losing their heads with the praise. It's a results-based business. Nothing has changed with Southgate. Still a flawed manager who's done a decent job. All managers are flawed, more or less. But also, if it's a results-based business, has he not delivered over and over again to meet the expectations? What would you speak to most English players, English fans outside before the season started? What would be a good tournament? Well, we'd win it, obviously, but what's a good tournament? Semi-final, final. Everyone was saying that. Yeah. We're in the final. We got into final in Euros in 2001. We've gone deep in other conversations. We've got finally. What's the final against Croatia?
Semi-final. World Cup 2018.
Semi-final against Croatia. So, I don't know. Just give him a break.
Yeah, man. I think that's it for me.
Just give him a break.
Yeah, because this idea of he has to win it. It's football, isn't it? Germany played really well, but they rocked up and they ended up playing a Spain side who have just been phenomenal. And Spain do look really, really good. But I know they can play, Flab. And they are getting better and better. And do you know what as well? This is what I think is going to be so interesting, is that it will, what I love to see is Luke Shaw plays brilliantly. And we have
really
a balance
comfortable when he came on. The balance is
so comfortable, doesn't he?
Trippier didn't have a horrendous game, by the way, yesterday. I thought he was fine, but
it's the same restrictions, though, isn't it? That's the problem with it.
Shaw just you just realise how much we've missed him. The fact that, and again, another criticism of Southgate. Why are you taking him? He's not fit. He hasn't played against February. And when I was on, I don't mean to name drop, but when I was on the overlap and I got shut down for saying that Luke Shaw's key to us potentially winning this, if he's fully fit for Sunday, he has to start because, like you said, Jim, the balance.
Yeah. And when I went to that thing and he was there and he spoke about it's all about contingency plans at the moment because which players are going to be fit for the sort of knockouts, and I was thinking Luke Shaw, and you sort of like, wow, it is really, Luke Shaw is so important to him, and you can see that, and rightly so. And so again, in its entirety, if we win this final against a team that we know is very good, and has beaten France and Germany, if we're able to beat that team, however, whatever way we do it, and he's now got a team that, again, we've asked for several different formations, several different players to play all the time, but the team that he's stuck with, which is, gently grown to what he wants, which was Luke Shaw and that back line, and getting Bellingham and Foden in the same team, but also being able to bring players on at the right time.
Jim, just think about it.
It's going to look so good, man. And that's what I sort of so I cried last night because I was just like, it's just in shock. I was like, it's one of them ones, just hands on my head, like just in shock, just like wow. And then I sort of re-cried when he did the he did his, like, when he lets go.
Yeah.
When he lets go to the fans. And that's the other thing I would say.
What he should have been doing, James, what he should have been doing was this.
Yeah. Who else?
That's what he should have been doing.
Just been holding his bollocks like that.
How do you like me now?
Yeah. But do you know what? That fan base that are in the stadium,
supportive.
Yeah, regardless of how they might feel in a conversation after it, during the game, have dragged them through it. And I've seen that. I've seen that with QPR like this season as well. Where it's like the fans. There is that well doesn't actually ever run dry. If anything, you kind of come on, lads. Like we'll drag you there a little bit. And there's been a lot of that from from the fans this year, and I think that's something to be really it's been about.
Well, you've experienced it twice, right? But against Slovakia, it was interesting because there was frustrations in the end. It was clear that people were frustrated. Everybody was, right? It looked like we were going out. Yeah. Understandably, but there was this constant noise, every time there was we tried to spring an attack, the crowd would get behind the team, and there was this supportive energy to it, and you need that to be successful. But do you remember what would you say our weakest part of the first 11 was before this tournament started? What was it? I mean, everyone was saying the same thing. It was the left-hand side of the defence, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gay, could he play? Could he compete? Could he do well enough? The defence has not been an issue. Southgate has that locked.
Will Brazier's in the house.
Forward.
Just spotted Will.
Hello, Will.
Hello, mate. We get it. I got sent a screenshot of Goldbridge, and he's gone Southgate out, Southgate out, Southgate out, Southgate out, Southgate out. Is coming home. After last night, found that hilarious. Is it possible to have the opportunity to bid on the potential to watch the final with Flav? That's what Will's asking.
Well, I'll be watching it with my old man in Wiltshire.
Come down.
If you want, me, it'd be a bit odd. Like, Dad'd be like, "Who's this bloke?" And he's like, I really like this presenter. He does stuff on YouTube. Is that enough to bring him into our family home? Weird little fascination,
despite them having a meeting.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fascinated. But you think about this, James. Think about it. Just for a second. Like, everyone's banging on about Yamal and Nico Williams. Olmo. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, class players. Midfield, they're a sexy team. They look good. Yeah, they've got spite in defence. They're a good side. And of course, they're a good side. Only good side to get to the final, right? Think about it. Pickford, fine.
Yeah,
right.
Fine with it.
Luke Shaw, Gay, Stones, Kyle Walker, right? That's fine. Right,
Carl can stop him at least.
Yeah, he can stop him. He can do what he wants. He can stop him. Then midfield, Jim, what are we saying here? Saying Mainu, sensational.
Can we just pause there? Can we talk about Kobe Mainu for a minute?
We need to. Did you know I saw a stat? He has the for any midfielder. He has the highest pass percentage of any midfielder in the history of the competition.
Do you know what as well? I think I saw that, and I saw Christian Hennig talk about it, and he made a really good point that that's not even his best thing.
Yeah,
his best thing is not his passing.
Yeah.
Best thing is like taking it and wriggling out of little spaces, making the odd tackle as well, driving the ball, taking players out of the game. He's so good, and he's just in a lovely place, isn't he? You can tell, like.
He's so good. Do you remember Slovakia? The game we kept looking at, and it's so like obviously everyone knows when you go and watch football live, you can see everything. You can see movement, players, and we kept saying to each other, "He's good, this geezer."
Yeah,
Mainu. if he was Spanish and playing in the Spanish team, everyone would go, oh, look at this kid. Yeah. Look at his kid. All right, they've got Yamal. Can we cope with Yamal? What, that weird little 17-year-old? He's got to get a life, hasn't he? Like, what's he been doing?
Hanging around Messi as a baby, or like begging to be a mascot every 5 minutes. Give it a rest, mate.
Yeah, just get a life, mate. Do you know what real men were doing back then?
I mean, he's not even trying
trying to approach women and failing. Right, that's what I was doing at 17.
In a what shirt was it? Marseille shirt or whatever it was.
Marseille shirt with chocolate all down the top. Yeah. Well, let's go into that again.
Can I touch on
something? Yeah, Yamal's like, all right, just wind it in a little bit. It's all right, you're good at football and you're 17. Just fuck off, will you?
Dale Fisher says Southgate has only achieved because we have scored worldies. He's lucky. Dale, Spain beat France 2-1, and Lamine Yamal scored quite a good goal. Worldie, you might say.
It's a shame because we would have battered
Does
France.
that not count? Does that not count now? I mean, come on.
Just give him some credit. Why? What's
your weapons down?
Everybody just chill out. Just give him some credit and enjoy.
I think Southgate should say that. I want to see one of those AI videos with Southgate. Can everyone just chill out? We've got us to another final. We weren't doing anything before this. All right? Can we stop picking the bones out and just bloody enjoy it?
Listen, if England do win this on Sunday, and they will,
Dale, I'm coming for
like we are. Yeah, find out where you live. No, we are. He's not going anywhere.
Well, yeah, that's a good. It's a good question.
If
he wins
I'd be quite interested.
Would you want him to stay?
I'd be quite interested to see what another manager could do with this bunch of players, and maybe it would be a bit more attractive. I don't know who that manager is, though, right? But it's probably Eddie Howe. Graham Potter, to me, just feels like more of the same. If we are going to get rid of Southgate, it needs to be someone who plays a brand of football that's slightly different. But if he wins it, no one can tell him. No one on earth, no matter how well informed you think you are, how much you know about football, can say, right, we want you to go now. Thanks for the memories. Fuck off. He is the daddy. If he wins, he decides what he does. Do you think the FA or anyone in the FA, even if we get to lose on Sunday, are going to go, it's time for you to go, Gareth? They love him. They'd be happy with him being the manager forever. He just toes the line. He's completely a man aboard the FA bang bus.
Do you know what's funny as well, right? With the so we did a podcast on the Ripple Effect looking at the candidates, which we'll drop on once the tournament's over, I think. Because I think I'm generally of the feeling that maybe now's the time to kind of stop it.
It would be the right time. It feels sensible to do that.
Yeah, it would be sensible to do it.
It should be on these terms if he wins.
But it would be more of a sort of a Deschamps move where it's like, but I'm winning. Yeah. And but we want something new and shiny, because it is
They'll
funny,
get rid
isn't
of
it?
him now,
in what world would you go? Say if you get rid of, if you go right, cheers, Gareth, we're going to move on now. You're going to go right. Could you just put into the search bar at least 8 years international experience, loyal, won't be poached by another club. Garen can get, is likely to get you at least to the quarterfinals, generally to semi-finals, and has to have previously got to at least one, ideally 2 finals. That manager doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist. The level of expectation for the next manager, based on the progress that Gareth Southgate has made, makes it a very difficult job.
Yeah. Do you think there'd be a drop-off?
I'm going to ask a question, because Pep Guardiola, I don't know if there'll be a drop. You depends. But Pep Guardiola, he's out of Man City because the charges are coming. He's out. Right? He's got to go. He's got a new job. There ain't no bigger job in the world than England.
He wouldn't lead it.
Why could he? Would he? I don't know, Jim. The thing is, we're just asking questions here. We're just talking, and I'm saying, what else has he got to do? There's nothing left for him to do. Take the England job, Pep.
Do you know what, I guess the tough bit, right? If you go into the mind of Southgate, who's probably slightly fearful that, like, for him to go what he's gone through in terms of the noise and critique, and then to win, and then to not have a go at the World Cup, I think if he wins it, he'll stay.
Yeah, I think so too.
But if he doesn't, and that means, you know what that means? every October, every September, every March for the next 2 years. Should Southgate go? I'm gonna have to be doing that again.
Yeah, but you don't because you just it's not a story in the end. Then is it? It's just boring. I think there are some people out there in your space, Jim, that will lose their minds.
What if he signs a new deal?
Yeah, he's not. When's his deal up? I think his deal's up 2024. It's not. Sorry, 2026.
Would you be excited to kind of not have to talk about Southgate anymore?
I don't mind talking about him. It's a bit niche for me, Jim. Would you?
I think it's. Do you know what it is? I've not. This is going to shock a lot of people. I'm actually the sort of not liking Southgate or not. I think there's a line that gets crossed, and I think that's disrespectful. But I think the overall kind of critique of how we're playing, I think, is a fair one. The thing that I'm actually I get more annoyed about is the inability to enjoy the wins. I just kind of like why we hit like very much of doing? Like, you know, like when I can go and do the sensible thing and get in the coach. No, I'm going to walk 40 minutes to see the lads for 10, and then I'm going to figure out how to get home because that's living. Because like at the end of it all, we're all gonna, you know, we'll go in at some point, aren't we? So it's just about it's not about just not being able to. I find it bizarre to me that you can't enjoy this. That's what I struggle with, and I think I go on about it too much. I need to stop that.
It is bizarre that people have made up. So it depends where you're coming from. If you're being critical of Southgate because you don't like England, and you just want to stick to beat them with, that's one thing. That's fine. If you're not enjoying this and enjoying last night, which was magical, by the way, it was magical. We did play well, but because you've decided and made it clear, and you've expressed this loudly that Southgate is not good enough to be England manager, isn't the right job, isn't the right man for the job. And you've gone down that path for so long that you can't now. You'd rather stay there than enjoy this.
Right. Yeah.
Mad. Great. Yeah. What's the point? Did you not see people crying their eyes out and going mental together, and sons hugging their fathers and their mothers? You not see that?
Yeah. That's the kind of point that I was trying to make about Rory. Like, I think that was brilliant.
He loves it. He lives it.
He lives it. He loves it. He enjoys it. And that's what it's about.
You'd rather not be wrong. You'd rather not be wrong.
Yeah.
And that's how fucking boring is that? If that is your reality, and I'm casting a broad.
And maybe there's something else here at play. Okay. So Jeremy last said, it's so hard to enjoy the wins when we play so badly. It's not about being bad tactically. It's about the players making stupid mistakes, crap passes to nobody, late tackles, and then playing backwards.
But we score in the last minute, and you're not moved because you're unhappy with the performance. That's not the way it works. That's not what sport you signed up for. This is the thing, James. Football has got become so precise, and it's less chaotic. There's so much order to football now, and we're all experts. That
that has been crazy.
Enjoying the chaos of football has become less and. So the best game of the tournament, this entire tournament, was Turkey versus Georgia. Best game but for me, the one I enjoyed the most was because it had that old school feel. It was chaotic. It was pre-Guardiola, and I'm going to sound like an old man screaming at the sun, right? But
it's a very big talking point at the moment. You know, the Bielsa comments come out, and
it's true. It's true.
I think I don't totally agree with it. I think you've got to look closer to see the beauty in it sometimes, and that is a bit more exhausting. But I think the game will continue to sort of change and evolve.
Of course, and it's so well, and so it should. But it's precise, right? And it's correct. And the best teams with the most money win, typically. Right?
Yeah.
But VAR is precise and correct. And it's taken something from the game.
So, yeah, I wouldn't
significant.
Say it's correct, but yeah. So was it a penalty?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Someone asked me. So
don't get me wrong, I was over the moon.
Yeah. At 2 a.m, they start talking about it, and I was like. They started talking about the penalty. I haven't seen the penalty back. and I don't care.
I couldn't give a shit.
I don't care. I don't care. I couldn't care less. And it's not fair because the Dutch didn't deserve that, and that got us back into the game quickly, and they've been robbed. But I don't care.
I put a tweet out yesterday seeing if there's any Dutch that wanted to fight because I was up for it. Yeah, I had one geezer. I love the Dutch, but it turns out he was 6'7" when he DM'd me. So I said, let's.
They are a tall bunch.
Yeah, they are big people. But I asked him this morning, was it a penalty? And he just said one word: don't.
All right, I was going to say no. I don't know. Does that mean it is or it wasn't? It's not really an answer, is it?
It was. I just we know what it is. That's what it was. Let's not even talk about it. Yeah, I don't even think it was. If it happened against us, I'd be fuming. For
the chat, in a word, and you can't use the word no. What is it? Like? What do you think about the penalty? Well, I've got a word in my head, so it works for me.
Great.
My word is
great.
All right. In truth, it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous.
You think it was that bad a decision?
I think it's woeful decision. I couldn't care less.
If he stopped him from getting no,
I love that whole meal. Don't care. I don't know why we're talking about it. Don't care. Bung.
If never shambles, Stonewall bung. Contentious.
Deserved.
Brilliant.
I mean, woke. It was a woke penalty. It was a woke penalty. It was a woke penalty. That's a good one.
I think the question here is if
next.
If that challenge had happened in the middle of the park, this is the question. Is it a foul? Is it a high foot? Is it a foul? What is it? Studs up. Is it dangerous?
That's a good point.
I don't care.
Do you know what though? I mean, yeah, unbothered was another word. I'm of the probably rogue opinion. You know when people go, "That's a foul everywhere else." I think that doesn't mean it's a foul in the penalty box.
I know. Do
you know what I mean? On the halfway line, all right, give it. Fine. If you can't give a penalty, you're essentially giving a goal. So I think there's a higher line there for me. But yeah, don't care really.
Don't care.
We're in the final. Look, will that come back round? I don't. I think in terms of it coming back round,
no such thing as karma. It doesn't come back round. Just things happen.
But I think the important thing is that in terms of it coming back to haunt us in the final, I don't care.
Yeah, do you know what? Don't care.
Yeah,
but not much to care about really.
Yeah.
What I would say in terms of things coming round, some people won't remember this, but there was a very contentious, somewhat scandalous decision to not send Ronald Koeman off against England back in 93.
Yeah, it was 93, but qualifiers for 94 World Cup.
And if it wasn't a penalty, it was 100% a red card.
Yeah.
The ref just went... You look at it now and you think, actually, it did happen outside the box, right? So, there's that one thing. But for the ref just to go, you know what? That's a yellow. That's mental. So, yeah.
Was it inside the box as well or something? Or was it out? It was
outside. It was just outside the box, but Platt fell into the box.
Because that's in the great Graham Taylor documentary, Do I Not Like That, which is on YouTube. Very good watch. Ian Wright's in it. Gaz is in it. They're all in it. He actually sort of goes up to the fourth official and goes, "Can you just tell the referee he's cost me my job? Thank you." And it did. You know, I mean, they might not have got through anyway. I mean, they might have.
It was. I think it was
so
qualifiers.
That is maybe karma coming back round.
It was the qualifiers for the USA World Cup, wasn't it? If I remember right.
It was.
Yeah.
We can talk about the Kane thing now, or any other questions as well, guys. Would you drop Kane, Flav? Would you drop him?
I don't think you can. I can understand the conversation. I understand that he is half the player he was in the middle of last season, or all of last season. He looks tired. He looks like he needs a bit of a rest, but I don't think you can. And I think there's a lot to be said from... And the fact that Southgate has done this a few times is pull him. He's not scared to pull Kane off.
Right,
He's not supposed to substitute him.
Yeah. If we win the final, all bets are off. Anything.
Yeah, but but there is this kind of narrative around Kane. Is he done? Like,
Did you pull him off?
He's just
You had the opportunity.
Absolutely, there isn't a man on earth that I wouldn't pull off. I just took what was kind of lovely, gentle wordplay and just destroyed it. Really, sorry.
Okay, quite crass.
Yeah. So the people are saying is he washed up? You're like, is Kane like? I saw Hugh Izzy talking about Kane being washed.
Really?
That he's just scored 44. He was the best number 9 in Europe last year. He's got 44 goals for Dortmund. I mean, for Bayern Munich. Of course he's not. He's not 100% fit. And having watched Kane more closely than almost anybody in this chat or wherever, you know, I've watched every minute of his football for the last 10 years. There were times when he's receiving the ball and you think 5 years ago at Spurs, this was easy for him, and now it's not easy. So there might be something going on. But the answer is no, you start him 100%. But the option to bring on, you know, Tony and Watkins is significant, and effective, and it has been effective. Like,
I think
Tony
the substitutes substitutes been so massive in this tournament for us. Now, there's two ways of looking at it. It's like, one, it's good to have those guys on the bench to use them. The other side it is, and that's what I said. I said that's why you start Trippier. So then we're in the ascendancy at half time, and you went, "Go on, Luke, off you go," because I feel confident we can do this now. So that was like, but it's about having an option to do it that way round instead of the other way around. But the other way of looking at it is, like, are you bizarrely kind of hurting yourself in the first half of a game by not playing your best team? And that is a weird one. I think Harry Kane is playing exactly the same way, and he's 24 years old. I think he's long gone. I think he wouldn't have started these games. He will absolutely start. And again, I think, wouldn't it just be brilliant for him to, you know, do a little Zidane final where he goes bang bang 2-0 and shuts everyone up as well.
Headbutt, fucking.
God, that would be different.
Yamal.
Thomas Iron Metcalf. Interesting one here. I think Flavio, I think you'd be able to answer this. In your opinion, do you see any way of Dunk or Wharton getting any minutes in the final? I'm amazed you've asked me that. I'm amazed. To be honest.
But
of course not.
No, they won't. But it's a shame for Adam Wharton. He's there for the experience. But I love that kid, and I think he's going to have a big, big future. And Rice will potentially get in the way of his development, or maybe he'll be able to play with Rice. We've got an abundance of talent in that midfield area, and they kind of.
There's going to be a new competition there, isn't there? With, like, if Wharton continues to thrive and he's different, and Declan Rice, it's funny, people starting to look at him slightly different because Kobbie Mainoo looks so kind of complete there. I think Rice goes with everything.
Yeah, it's very versatile, isn't it? Like, even when he didn't play that well yesterday, he was involved in everything, and you know, his industry, his willingness. He would never hide, even though I didn't think I mean, I'm not sure he's 105 million good, but he's good.
I heard someone say, I think it was on Football Ramble. There's a guy talking about. He said, when you're looking at all these players, you need to, especially the ones that have played a lot of games this year, you need to think of them through the lens of players that are actually probably at 60% of their, like, full output by this stage, because they are shattered.
Yeah, 100%.
And that is a fear for me as well. And you've got, you know, Rice, and I think no one's run more than him. Bellingham and the work that he puts in terms of, you know, the sprints and the effort he puts in. He was literally like, looks like he was about to pass out at the end of that game. Like, and he said himself, well, I don't know if I had another 30 minutes in me, because we've been playing a lot of games right to the end.
There's that. There's also, I mean,
got a day less as well.
Got a day less, and then you kind of looking at it like how much recovery. I know this is going beyond Sunday, but how much recovery time they're going to need at the start of the season to probably come back in. Anyway,
I think we've got a lot against us there from that point of view. Also, like, you know, say Pedri was just suspended, wasn't he? I don't think he was injured.
No, didn't he get? Yeah, it was against Germany. He had that. He got.
Or was it injury? Sorry.
He come off injured. He looked in a relatively bad way. I'm not sure if he's going to be fit.
Because they had a few of them suspended, didn't they? So I guess that's the thing as well. Those players will get to come back, so they're rested, which is another plus for them.
He got injured in the first 6 minutes of the game against Germany, if I remember. I think Kroos did him.
Oh, right, so I'm
is it interesting? Yeah, I mean, you watched a lot of football, but is it interesting the way Germany unsettled Spain was to be really physical? They just wouldn't let them breathe. They were going through players. They were kicking them. They were disrupting Spain's rhythm by being super physical. Do you think we need to be that way?
I think
get stuck into them.
I think it's another one where I think the fear I have with them is it is one where it's one of those can we get to half-time games, I think. Because I think if they, once they're in the lead, they're very, very confident and competent in terms of keeping hold of the ball. So that makes it harder and harder. But I think we can get at them. Yeah, I think we can be a bit physical. It'd be interesting. Maybe it's one where Gallagher is going to get some more minutes than he would normally do. Because generally the subs that we put on have been attacking subs to kind of make the difference. We're going to do a live stream tomorrow. We're going to sort of look at Spain, and like previously we've kind of done how England will set up. I think for this one it will be how do you stop them? How do you stop them? I think that's going to be as big a part as anything. We've got some.
How do they stop us though, Jimmy? How do they stop us, Jim?
It's a bloody good point. Bloody point.
I'll ask a question. How do you stop England playing?
Imagine if Eze scores the winner. Who would you like to get the winner? Kane.
For you, no, fucking Kane's. There's nothing to me.
Dead to you, no.
Yeah, for you, Eze. How special that would be for you.
Eze comes on.
Yeah. Trippier.
Trippier would be like that. Yeah. Who else? Right, Super Chats. Jack Jones. I was at the game. The momentum shifts in the crowd felt huge. Felt as though the white wall gave our players confidence and put pressure on the Dutch. Definitely, they were quiet, the Dutch. I was surprised. Really surprised. Don't like it up them. Don't like it up them.
I mean, that's one of the most sort of... They're the most sort of sexually liberated countries on the planet. So they actually do like it up them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They will pull anyone off. Langford Showcase says, we must avenge the women's Euro defeat. Are we getting a little bit of a rivalry here with the Spanish now? Because I think there's also the under-21s we beat Spain. So Cole Palmer knows. He knows what to do. We lost the World Cup with the women. And obviously we go again this time. Is this an England-Spain dynasty we're seeing? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good shout. Clearly, on paper, the best two teams in it.
What was that? Again, I didn't, because I'm there, I didn't hear the commentary. What was, were we happy with the commentary and punditry? How did that go? Or were you not listening to it?
I kind of absorbed it. I don't have any notes. Okay. I think it was fun.
Oddity says, media coverage on the ref helped us a lot, in my opinion. It was a lot about, obviously, the match fixing that he'd had, right?
Yeah.
So I think did it play a part? I mean, we got a penalty, which we got for sure.
A match fixing. What would you? Hang on. What? So is the suggestion that England have paid him to give us decisions?
I don't know,
because that's what match fixing is. So don't bring it up unless that's what you think happened.
Right. I don't. I won't bring it up again.
Well, no, don't. But wasn't that someone who said that? Was it you who said
that?
Well,
so the media coverage gave it. I think maybe he's not thinking, maybe not going as far as match fixing. He's just saying,
bias.
Did it? Yeah, did it? I thought it was weird. I felt like we celebrated the goal for ages, and then the game ended like that. After it,
what Watkins?
Oh yeah, and then the game. It was like 2 minutes added time. Why was there? There wasn't much added time. I thought that was weird.
It was 2 minutes added time. We scored in 91, and he added 2 more minutes on top of the goal. So I don't understand. We talked about this before, Jim. Right? How have they gone from in Qatar and in the Premier League season 14, sometimes 13, 10 minutes, like giving genuine additional football, to this one going, no, we're not going to do it. We're just going to give you roughly 3 or 4. So it's not injury time then, is it?
Mate, corruption, isn't it? Max fixing.
But I don't understand what is the
know.
rule. Like, if it isn't injury time and stoppage time, call it something else. Just arbitrary time we're going to add on to the end.
I think
It has no real relation to the game.
Yeah, I guess they were trying to calm it down a bit, weren't they? Because it was killing the players. Jeff says it's interesting. Sharawi.
But what is, I get it as killing the players, and I get there's an issue there, right? But what is the time for then? Just stop at 90. If that is it.
Stop clock, innit? I'd love to see a stop clock. I think it would be good fun.
But you would go back to about 14 minutes added on. If you had that, it would be such a long experience. Not that I'm fine.
But
with
what
it
if
as
it's
well.
no? But like say right substitution, stop. Player goes off.
What if a ball goes out of play? Does that count?
No.
So it's just subs. Anytime players injured on the ground.
Injuries. Yeah, injuries. Pop it down. Because I'm sure you could get his watch linked. Maybe it's another thing the ref needs to do.
Yeah,
if the ref does that.
But I don't know. But just go back to it. I don't know what the time means if it isn't connected to injuries or stoppages. It's just we'll add some time on, and how much time, and why is it 4? Why is it 3? If it isn't related to injuries, or
because my brain's struggling with this. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
you're really tired. Sorry, mate. Let's just
No, don't apologise. I appreciate you spending some time with me. Someone said the 89-59 was satisfying. Really was, wasn't it? Stuff of dreams for Watkins. Absolute stuff of dreams. That man.
I wasn't close. I wasn't sure. I didn't realise we were so close to the end. So I
didn't feel like that either. Yeah.
I didn't realise it was in. We were on that. Because it was like we scored, and then we were like, oh my god, there's no injury time. We're through.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, oh my god, we scored, more than like, oh my god, we scored late. I didn't that wasn't added in, to be honest. Ilkan says, with a little power move, says Palmer should start the final. That's no debate. I think it is a debate, and he won't start. Who are you dropping? Who are you dropping, Palmer?
Yeah, because my feelings on Saka and of him as a whatever, but he's been great in the last 2 games. He's got to play.
I just thought maybe it's just me being a romantic, but I just sort of a little Foden goal and a Kane goal would just be scrumptious in the final, just to sort of really just shut it all up with a little Eze, like a bit like Emmanuel Petit, 1998.
Yeah, I remember that goal vividly. Actually,
great goal. Yeah, was it because of all your favourite Arsenal players?
Yeah, it's horrendous. It was like, look how great Arsenal is, and now look what France are doing. You're like, for fuck's sake, I cannot escape these bastards.
Cracking couple of months for them, and it double, and then you go and win the World Cup. Woof.
Yeah, if you like.
That's always a good game to play. So by the end of this tournament, who's had the best time? It will either be Carvajal or Bellingham, won't it? Champions League. Carvajal scored in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Carvajal Ballon d'Or. Might happen. Can I make one comment on Yamal? I know he's amazing. Like, he's clearly amazing. He's a joke. Loves to cut on his left. Loves to cut on the left. Bit one dimensional.
Is that all he's got, Jim? Is that what you're saying?
Does he just always seems to want to go on that left. Just a note, Gareth, if you are watching. Thank you as well if you are watching. You're wonderful. I honestly, if we win it, I'll be as happy for him as I'll be more happy for him than anyone else. To see him hold the trophy aloft and do that one. You know when he goes, yeah! I mean, that's German.
He should be your first tattoo, Jim.
Yeah.
Southgate's face.
Southgate. Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to go have a nap. But thank you for spending some time with us, guys. Lovely to chew the fat. I'm going to do a stream probably tomorrow, breaking down Spain and how we get the job done. But we are in the final. Come on. Let's go.
Let's go.
Indeed. Right.